Be sure and look up the Kratky method. There are a number of YouTubes and text files around about it. I'm not going to go into it in this particular document. Thanks. The weather's been very spotty, quite a bit of snow, and you really couldn't depend on much winter production, so I decided to do some Kratky method inside the house. Basically, you use a standard growing solution and mix it up. You put it into containers. It's kind of a lemon yellow color there. You put it in your container by cutting a hole through the top. This was a peanut butter or mayonnaise container, and I just put a net pot in the top. As you can see here, I've used it. I'm halfway through the process and I got some algae in there, so I'm cleaning it out and replenishing it. I refilled these about 3 times in the 4 months that I had it. This is my roots on the 1 bok choy. I'm using plain yellow insulation, glass wool, as my medium, and I shoved a few rocks in it because it wasn't that heavy, so that keeps the plant from knocking over. These are 2 that I did. This other one is in the standard format, a folgers can, a red folgers can, red because that doesn't allow too much light to come through. And I cut a hole in a piece of insulation so it actually fits. You can see the edge. The roots are not the classic white roots you see in hydroponics. I generally cut them off because they look kind of funky, and they have been producing. I just keep picking them and picking them and picking them. I think I've gotten at least 40 or 50 leaves off of each set of plants. I also have some mustard growing and a sweet potato. And I chop those up in the morning for my breakfast, sometimes with cabbage or other things. But it's just nice to have some really fresh greens. I tend to like my greens a little younger, and they're therefore a little tastier to me. So they're not as huge as you see when you buy bok choy in the store, but the ones in the store are mostly that white rib in the center anyway. This is my south-southeast facing garden area. There's a container full of mustard, fava beans, a few beets, and some bok choy that's trying to go to seed. These are my Kratky experiment bok choys. They were started in November, and I've been eating off of them continuously since then. They spent 1 month under grow lights and didn't do a lot. And this is some slips of Japanese sweet potatoes that I just put in a bed of wood chips. Try having these reflectors on both sides, and then I might have some reflectors behind them, but since this is a room and I don't want to miss my chance to see those beautiful trees right down here in the center of Alexandria, Virginia, I probably won't put a lot more reflection. I may add some light as I don't get a full 12 hours of light here. At night, I put these over the windows just to keep it from getting too cold in this corner. We keep the house around 70. Growing plants inside was a lot of fun. It's nice to have some green when nothing will grow outside. The Kratky method, and those are sweet potatoes. All were edible. The fava beans and the mustard I left. The Kratky bok choys worked pretty well. I picked them quite a bit. You're looking at almost 2 months of growth here. I didn't have luck with lights, but I didn't have expensive lights. When I first started seeding things, my buddy was using just a 2-tube fluorescent, and as soon as I got the Kratky plants looking at real sunshine in a south-facing window, even though it has blinders on it, it worked really well. I even trimmed the roots, and after 20 hours, the plants, the leaves which had drooped down, were back up. Anyway, I enjoyed my Kratky, and I'll probably use it again.